What's up, Keymakers? Today we're going to talk about volume conversion tracking. My name is Bradley G. Smith, and you're a Keymaker if you're subscribed to this channel. So, before we get started, hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell so you can be notified of future trainings. Plus, stay with me to the end of the video, and I got a special surprise for you that's going to help you with your link tracking and conversion tracking efforts. Also, editor's note, if this next clip looks like I'm tired, it's because I am. I had to shoot it 2 times because the first time, which was about probably 20 minutes, it didn't record any audio. So I had to shoot it again, and I was quite tired. It was late at night. So hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Guys, before I get started, I thought I'd point out I just got back into affiliate marketing here in mid-2018, and I started a forum where I do follow-alongs. I've already been doing a lot of advertising and trying to discover where profitable campaigns are. So I've started a website called followalongs.com, and I'd love for you to join me there. And just here's the homepage of followalongs.com. But yeah, come over and sign up. I'm only accepting the first 200 that join, and so yeah, hop in there. Okay, so volume. There's a lot to volume. The main complexity surrounding volume conversion tracking are all of the URLs that are involved. What URL does what? That was the hardest thing for me to figure out when I just picked up volume. I'm using volume because all the top affiliate marketers, as far as I can tell, are using volume, especially when they need to do campaign tracking and link tracking for their promotions and their traffic sources. So I wanted to get in there and use volume, and I just got the conversions figured out. So I wanted to demo that I got the conversions figured out, and I wanted to talk through all the different pieces that are related to conversion tracking when it comes to volume. So we're going to take a look at ZeroPark, volume, and MaxBounty. Of course, I've got a I'm a member of PureFly as well, but and I've got conversion tracking through there as well. But I just wanted to demonstrate how I have it set up for ZeroPark, MaxBounty, and volume. So so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I think probably the easiest thing for us to do as we're talking about volume conversion tracking is to write out a couple of things. I'm going to write out what URLs are in play and where each one of the URLs are located. So there's basically 3 pieces in play when you're doing any sort of advertising online for affiliate marketing. So I'll just mention those 3 pieces. Those 3 pieces are your link tracker, your affiliate network, and your traffic source. Okay. So each one of each one of these 3 sites that you have to go to get your affiliate campaign set up have multiple URLs, and you sort of have to know what each one of these URLs are. So let's talk through what each one of these URLs are. I'm going to list them out first, and then I'll go through talk through them on each one of these locations. So so with volume, there's multiple URLs in play. So there's a postback URL, and this is quite often your domain. Now you can use their postback URL, but if you want everything to go through your domain, you can add your domain and get tracking set up through there. So there's a postback URL, and then there's multiple other pieces that are involved. There's a campaign, there's an offer, there's a lander, there's and this is of course optional with a lot of campaigns, and then there's a traffic source, and there's an affiliate network. So the campaign has its own campaign URL. The offer has an offer URL. The lander has a lander URL, and the traffic source has a postback URL. Now the affiliate network has inside of Volume has no URL. For affiliate networks in general and MaxBounty in particular, there are a couple of URLs in play. So there's an account-wide postback URL. And there's also an offer URL. So you get a URL for an offer that you're getting ready to promote. And if you want, you can set a offer specific postback URL. So let's say you want all of your conversions to report back to a specific URL. You can use the account-wide postback URL, but you want this one offer that you're working on to post to a different URL. So I'm using the word postback URL a lot. I think it's probably best to explain what a postback URL is. All a postback URL is a callback to your traffic source. So in our case, it's traffic source is not the right terminology. It's a callback to your link tracker. So in each one of the cases, you're reporting back to a URL, and that's how Volume picks up all the data and picks up the conversions, and then also notifies other locations what your traffic and conversions are. So and I should also mention there's a traffic source URL. There's two URLs here. One is, let's go look at one of these. Going to edit a campaign here. And then there's a destination URL, and there's also a postback URL. So let's destination URL and postback URL. So the destination URL is your campaign URL. And if you don't have a link tracker, with no link tracker, it's your affiliate network offer URL. And then the traffic source also has its own postback URL, so that it can be notified when a conversion is made. So conversions, and we'll say all the postback URLs are for conversions, but I will get into detail of exactly how each one of these works. Okay, so so I think we're doing good so far. We've got 3 different items in play when it comes to conversion tracking for your affiliate offer. You've got your link tracker, your affiliate network, and your traffic source. Each one of them has URLs that you sort of have to know what they are, and I'm sitting here trying to lay out what each one of those URLs are. Okay, so I think the best thing for us to do then would be to start with, I'll just move this over to a different screen, would be to start with Volume and go through each one of these URLs that are associated with Volume. Okay, so with Volume, I mentioned there's a postback URL. The postback URL is added by you. And you can come into settings, you can add a domain, and this would be a domain that you've purchased, and I've used a subdomain, track.mydomain. And then tracking URLs, you come here and you go to postback URL, and there's a postback URL and a secure postback URL. If you have a lander, this is the URL. I'm not really going to get into this right now, but if you have a lander, this is an important URL that you'll need. We're going to skip the lander. We're going to behave as if we've pulled the URL straight from MaxBounty, and we're going to do what's called direct linking, where we're not linking to a landing page, but we're linking directly to the offer. So if you're linking to a landing page, you'll want to come here and get these URLs and drop them in your landing page, and that's how Volume tracks if you've gotten a link from the landing page
to the offer. So this postback URL is important for multiple reasons. You're going to use the postback URL. You're going to put it inside of, back to our notes here. You've already, it's been generated here from the domain that you added, and you verified the domain in Volume, so it then generates the postback URL. You take the postback URL, you put it inside of your affiliate network, and if you have a separate postback URL, which we're not going to do in this case, then you put it inside of your offer, and you can label that specifically inside of, or you can set that up specifically inside of the MaxBounty offer setup. And then there's a postback URL for ZeroPark. This postback URL is unrelated to the Volume and MaxBounty postback URL. This is traffic source specific. This is how your link tracker notifies your traffic source that a conversion has been made. Okay, so I'll get into that. I'll show you that here in just a minute, but let's just keep on going down the list here of URLs. So there's the postback URL, and then once you've created a campaign, you get a campaign URL. So the sort of the flow of things here inside of Volume is that you come in here, you add an affiliate network. Your affiliate network is really simple. In this case, I've added MaxBounty. MaxBounty just has an affiliate network name. I have a couple of settings here that I haven't enabled. I don't need to because I can turn them on in other locations. And then you've set up an affiliate network. Then you can go set up a traffic source. Now there's, you're only going to add affiliate networks and traffic sources every once in a while, especially if it's the first time that you're setting up an affiliate network or a traffic source. So in this case, I set up a traffic source called ZeroPark. Here's what my settings look like. If you need to, now is a good time to pause it so that you can take a look at the advanced parameters that I've set up. But I've gotten these advanced parameters from ZeroPark, in particular from this information right here. These tokens are the tokens that can be passed into whatever your link tracker is. That's what this is set up. They provide these tokens so that you can track these on your end for whatever link tracker you're using. In our case, we're using Volume. We've set them up here. And then we're using the postback URL that's provided right here to understand where Volume, the link tracker, has to post back to if a conversion comes in. So we identify the click ID from the external ID of the traffic source, and we identify the payout. And I don't think this is included here. I don't think payout is here, but it does report back. It does come through. Yeah, so you know when a conversion is made, and they are passing the payout back to you in Volume, and then ZeroPark knows what the conversion was and how much it was worth. That comes from Volume, actually. The Volume reports back to ZeroPark that a payout has been made, and then ZeroPark in the dashboard begins reporting. ZeroPark begins reporting on conversions and payouts. So that information is right here. So back to our URL. So that's traffic source, and then I was going to say there's a couple of other pieces. Landers. So if you have a lander to set up, lander is just a landing page that's between the traffic source and the offer. So the lander, if I was going to set one up, is just a URL provided by you. This would be let's say you set up a landing page on one of your domains. Let's say it's on your WordPress site. If you have a WordPress site, you would put that URL right here. This would be basically the warm up to the offer that you're trying to push traffic to. So that's your own specific URL in that case. So we talked about the lander URL, and then there's a offer URL. So the offer URL is the affiliate network's URL. So in the case of MaxBounty, if I'm trying to look at a particular offer's URL, looks like I got to log in real quick. if I'm trying to pull up a particular offers URL, I can pass a couple of things in here for placeholder. So I'm going to just pass these in here real quick to show you how this reports back. So S1 they recommend as being the traffic source only, and then click ID would be S2. And then whenever I generate my URL, I have that information in here. So I have Google as the traffic source, S1, and S2 as click ID placeholder. Now, you might be also wondering, like, where does S1, S2, all that information come from? You can just come up here, click sub ID and callbacks, and then they have this whole explanation of what S1, S2, and all this information is. But S2 is passed through as the click ID. So I take that URL, I take that back to Volume, I create a new offer if I'm going to add this, and I see all this information here. I see S1 and S2. I would replace that with my traffic source name because the offer can be run on multiple traffic sources, and so I'm just passing the traffic source name here. And then they're saying that MaxBounty expects the click ID to come through in S2. So you select the available token here. This is available to you from Volume, and you're going to pass this through as the click ID. So then if you have a different postback URL than the one that you've provided in the global settings inside of Volume, you can actually I said that wrong. They're just outputting the postback URL right here, so you could take this if you wanted to and input this right into put this right into the account settings inside of MaxBounty. So if I'm going to add a global postback URL for MaxBounty, I would do that right here, and I would drop that right here, and S2 comes through as the click ID as we talked about, and payout comes through as the rate. And I can see that information. I think, nope, it doesn't show it right here, but for sure this is how it comes through. It's basically the same as what we saw on the other page for the offer on MaxBounty that we just looked at. Okay, so that's the offer in the offer URL. And then there's the campaign. So once you've come through, you've created an affiliate network, you've set up a traffic source, maybe you've used a lander, maybe not, but you've definitely set up an offer. Then you come in and create a new campaign. And then you put a little bit of information in here. Of course, you'll put the traffic source, you'll determine whether or not it's global, and then you'll also select one of your traffic sources that you've added. ZeroPark in our case, let's say we were targeting France, and then we could say the way ZeroPark works is they don't actually report the cost. So if you were paying like 1 cent per view, the way ZeroPark does views, then you would input that right there, and then you would choose your destination. So in our case, we would choose path. We would choose direct linking because we're skipping the lander, so we didn't include a lander, so that we're not going to include one here. And then we would select the particular offer that we just added, and then we would hit save, and that right there would generate a campaign URL. So if I was going to look at this particular URL, this URL for this campaign, I can see it's right here. And you'll know that you need to generate a new URL when you're running traffic from a different traffic source. Pardon me. You'll know you'll need to create a new campaign when you're running traffic from a different campaign source. So anytime you're going to do a different traffic source, you'll create a new campaign. You'll grab the URL, and then you'll take that URL. You'll let's say we're going to create a new campaign. We're going to take that URL and drop it into ZeroPark if we're going to set up a campaign as the destination URL. And all of these tokens, I didn't grab the right URL. All of these tokens are already included because we already set up our information correctly inside of our link tracker, right? We already set up our traffic source correctly because we already input all that information via the available tokens. So all this information was pulled from here, and that's how the campaign URL gets generated. So we already know we're posting back because we've already got a postback URL set inside of our traffic source inside Volume, and that's sort of how it works, guys. those are all the particular URLs that you could use. Now I have one more thing that I wanted to add. I had to sit down and think through how all this worked, and I thought of a diagram that helped me think through the process, and I want to share that same diagram with you. I've got my notes right here, so I might be referring to my notes as I'm drawing this, but I thought I would draw this up for you so that you guys could also see what I was seeing. So let me do that now. All right, so for this, I'm going to use a piece of software called Epic Pen, and I'm going to use my new drawing tablet called Wacom. It's a small Wacom drawing tablet, but here, let me just start drawing what I have here. So like we mentioned, guys, there's multiple things in play here. I'm going to start drawing here, show you the diagram that I had to think through of how all these pieces work and what's happening with the traffic flow with all the redirects and all the URLs that we have. So, okay. So let's just start here. I think there are multiple things in play here. So there is a traffic source. In our case, we're using ZeroPark. Okay, and then there's also a tracker. In our case, we're using Volume. And then there's a postback URL, and of course, I'm just going to draw that underneath the volume, and that's your domain, your tracking domain. And then there's an affiliate network. Affiliate network. In our case, we're using MaxBounty. And then there's one more piece here. There's an offer. So, okay, so I'm going to draw some lines here and just show you the flow of what's actually happening here and who's notifying what of who. So the start of this whole flow happens right here. I'm going to switch. Start happens right here. So what happens is the traffic source has a campaign URL. And so the campaign URL gets hit. Campaign URL gets hit, and that gets sent to your tracker, and then your tracker redirects to your affiliate, your offer URL. So your offer URL was provided by your affiliate network, and then your affiliate network takes and redirects that to the actual offer. So this is how MaxBounty tracks your information through this offer URL, and then they redirect you to this final offer, which is the landing page that you're trying to make a sale off of, right? Where you're sending traffic to, the ultimate place where you're sending traffic to. So the traffic could end here, question mark, or if a sale is made, then that kicks off a couple more things here. Okay, so then the company with the offer or the landing page notifies, based on the way they have their tracking set up, they notify the affiliate network. So they notify the affiliate network. Then because you put your postback URL inside of MaxBounty as the affiliate network, they notify your link tracker. So your link tracker then, because you added your the postback URL of the traffic source to Volume, Volume knows now who to notify. So there's the traffic source postback URL as well. So they say, oh, okay. So what happens is the sale gets kicked off right here. That's a $sign. The sale gets kicked off right here, and they notify the affiliate network. The affiliate network then says, oh, I have the postback URL because you added that in the global settings of the affiliate network. Now I know who to notify. Oh, okay, it's volume. So I'm going to notify volume. Volume then says, oh, wait a minute. Do I have anybody I can notify with this traffic source? Is there a postback URL for this traffic source? Oh, yes, there is a postback URL for this traffic source. So I'm going to tell the traffic source that a conversion was made. So then the traffic source volume passes over the click ID and the conversion information to the traffic source, so that when you go to ZeroPark, for instance, then you can see that information in ZeroPark. So this is the final end. And of course, if you were to have a landing page, I guess I should just say, if you had a landing page in here, it would be somewhere in this range. So you would hit the no, I said that a little bit incorrectly. You would have the landing page right in here. The landing page would then have the offer URL, and that would take you through to the actual offer. So if you had a landing page, it would be inserted in here. And this is optional in some.
So, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. The special surprise I have for you is the notes that I was typing up as we were going through the video. I've got those available for download. Plus, the image that I drew while we were in the middle of working on it, and I was mapping out the flow, available for download as well. So, check out the links below the video, and you're going to be able to click on one of them and go download the notes and the image that's going to basically show you the flow of conversion tracking with volume. Plus, I'm going to include my volume affiliate link in case you decide to purchase volume. Let me know what you didn't see in this video that you would like to see more of in the future, specifically with regard to volume. And if you like the video, hit the like button now. So, Keymakers, I'll see you in the next video.